Okay, we're now on to match 2 of our Vintage Dredge League here. We won match 1 against, I think, Blue White Mentor. We are on the draw with a double Bazaar hand, so this is looking pretty good. We just scryed a Narcomoeba to the bottom. The reason being it's not going to do anything when we draw it, and we'd rather just have more dredges or therapies or pretty much anything except a naturally drawn Narcomoeba. And our opponent has another library draw, which we're happy about. And we hit a petrified field. So this means even if we get strip mined or wastelanded, we're still going to have 2 Bazaars up. So, and if we don't, we're going to have 3 Bazaars up if the game goes that long. So another Tundra, I would suspect probably another Mentor deck, and our opponent will Time Walk. And I don't know about Time Walking now. I don't think that really does anything, although I guess it buys them another turn. Yeah, and the Time Walk's done nothing. So we'll pitch, obviously, Icarid and a couple of Trolls, and just so we can do the standard trick of responding to our Icarid trigger with a Bazaar. I think probably once we play the second Bazaar here, he'll scoop. We've just hit. Okay, so just a Narcomoeba and an Icarid so far. It's possibly as a Containment Priest game 1. I wouldn't expect it, but it has happened to me before in the tournament practice room. I don't know how indicative that is of a real meta. I know in Legacy it's generally not the best indication, and he is thinking quite hard here. But I suspect Icarid's going to resolve, and we're going to win this game soon. Okay, so we'll exile a Thug, Dredge for draw. Play our Bazaar, and trigger a bunch of Bloodghasts, and we might actually just be able to win this turn. I think we've got a Dread return. If we can hit our Haster, we can take the game. Okay, he doesn't even wait. He just, yep, as I thought, scoops when he sees the second Bazaar. So we need Barbarian Rings. So we're going to have to cut down on. I think we can probably afford to cut a Petrified Field and 1 coloured mana source. I've been liking cutting Undiscovered Paradises. Just they can be a bit of a pain constantly coming back to the hand. I guess it triggers Bloodghast better, but we have Dakmor Salvage for that anyway. We'll trim down a couple of Thugs. And so what are we bringing in 4 Nature's Claims? We can cut ley lines here, I think. We're not too stressed by the blue-white decks. Yeah, okay, cool. Nature's Claim, Serenities, a couple of Barbarian Rings. The reason we don't care too much about the ley lines is they're trying to do something similar to us as far as I can tell. They're just trying to basically spam with a Mentor, go wide and hit with 1,000,000 power. I don't really expect to see many of their creatures hit their graveyards from play, unless there's actual real combat going on, which I think is somewhat unlikely. We're not hitting our Bazaars here, which is bad. So I guess this is a downside of not having our serum powder. We can sometimes just mulligan to nothing. And without having a ley line in there, it just makes it a bit worse again. We're just drawing crap. I guess the misstep's okay. It at least lets us fight if they do try to play a cage. And so I'm guessing they're on... So if they're playing Mishra's Factory, they're probably playing Standstill, I believe. If watching hours and hours of Rich Chase stream is anything to go by. Okay, cool. And they play a library that does nothing. I don't know why they didn't keep the Tundra up instead. The library's not doing anything. At least the Tundra threatens Swords to Plowshares or something. Or A-Call. We finally got Epsar. And I think they're going to waste us here. So we're going to see if we can find a second one in 2 cards. We can't, but we do find some dredges. So we're not dead just yet. So we're now reduced to slow dredging, I think, for the rest of this game. Which, given what he's managed to do so far, might actually get us there. Okay, I don't know why he didn't attack us there. He must have something in mind. And we're finally starting to get a bit towards critical mass here. We've got a couple of dredges. We're going to want to find a Dakmore salvage soon for the Bloodghasts. There's 2 of them there. Okay, this turn he's going to crack in with the factory. We're going to let that go. We don't really care. We can afford to take a few more hits here. The only clock he's got is the factory. We're really not dredging well here. I think we're going to attack in. We really need to start getting a clock on him if we're not going to manage to hit the cards we need. So I'm not entirely sure if he is on Standstill. I assume Standstill is not a particularly good card versus Dredge. I don't feel like pure blind card advantage and stopping me from playing spells really does that much in this game. Okay, and then he draws the cage. We've got the misstep. Okay, and he has a force. So now we're going to actually have to play draw go for a while we try to find a land. Might be worth, is it worth dredging? I'm not sure. Because I think we can now, okay, so we're looking for bridges at the moment. If we find bridges, we can block the factory. Which then brings us to a bit of a standstill, which is fine, because then we can work to just naturally draw enough, like draw lands and draw removal, and just beat the cage. And he's played a moat, So that's a bigger problem for us. We now have multiple things that we have to try to beat, so our original plan gets worse. So 9-turn clock on the Narcomoeba. And now we're actually, if we draw a land for our removal, we actually now want to take out the moat instead. Okay, there's a rest in peace. I guess if we draw 2 lands now, we can just play out a second Narcomoeba. And then if we draw a third, we can play out the Stinkweed Imp and just keep going. Okay, we just got to keep this up for 7 more turns. We will bin the Dredge return here. It doesn't really matter too much. We can bin the Grave Troll or the Dredge return. Any of those are useless to us. And eventually he's going to draw Swords to Plowshares as well, I imagine. Okay, there we go. There's the Swords. So I still don't know how we're going to lose this game. Given enough time, we can just start playing out our idiots. Okay, there's a Barbarian Ring. Which is looking a bit silly in the face of a Rest in Peace. Okay, and he's wastelanding us off. Okay, so we're going to go for Moat. I'm just being extremely sure that we're going for Moat and we haven't just clicked on Rest in Peace by pure habit. Okay, and I feel like still all of that's okay. That's a reasonable exchange. It's going to let us have a better chance of resolving Narcomoeba when we hit our second land. Okay, and now I think we're in real trouble. We are now down to, I think, so what have we got? 3 copies of City of Brass. We have a Mana Confluence in the graveyard. Anyway, yeah, okay, so I think we've got 2 coloured sources remaining. And somewhere in 25 cards. Yeah, 2 coloured sources, so I think 2 Undiscovered Paradises. Okay, and that's probably a good thing. We can now start looting for lands. So I think lands are now the only thing we care about. Okay, and our opponent now plays a Jace, and I think that's probably getting towards GG's. He can just keep looking at the top of our library, and we only have a handful of turns to find an out now. And none of this does anything. We can pitch the Dug or the bridge, it doesn't matter too much. And I guess Therapy, Thug, and Misstep probably should have been what we pitched. I think at this point I'm probably just being a little bit hopeful, dreaming that I can draw out of it. I honestly don't know if we can get enough attacks in to prevent the Jace ult from going. I guess if we manage to get multiple creatures down, we can probably keep Jace off enough loyalty. And yeah, I think at that point that was probably our last chance, really. We're down to 16 cards. Alright, I guess, we can keep Serenity and hope like hell that gets us there, but no, we don't have enough left in our library. We need to pitch Serenity and Nature's Claim. I don't think I'm going to do that, unfortunately, though. I think I got too hopeful and pitched Stinkweed in without realising that we didn't really have enough left going on to... I guess double Narcomoeba maybe, but we should have kept the flyers over the removal. Okay, one very last ditch effort. We get an Undiscovered Paradise. Oh, I'm going to pitch another Narcomoeba. Okay, so I think I played this game, retrospectively I played this game completely wrong. I should have been looking for a coloured source to attack with flyers, whereas I didn't spot the line here where I really should have been... Yeah, so I was looking for removal rather than a mana source for the flyers, which was incorrect. My actual out was, just a beatdown strategy, a hardcast idiots beatdown strategy. I was trying too hard to go a combo route. So he'll take this game. And I think we can, yeah, so I cut the barbarian rings. Just because obviously they didn't do much there. Okay, cool. And we get a double bazaar hand, so we're more than happy to run that back and a bridge on top. So we'll keep the bridge. The bridge is fine. Okay, and we're... Yeah, okay, we're not doing too badly here. We'll play the bazaar. Get a couple of bloodghasts going. And keep trying to dig deeper. This is looking, yeah, this is looking pretty great so far. I wonder if maybe we just, yeah, okay, so we're gonna therapy just to get a few more creatures on the board. And he's gonna force the therapy. So 6 power on the board. We've got a, I guess, a 3-turn clock once he fetches. So that seems pretty decent. We can afford to be wastelanded. We can afford to lose 1 bridge. Oh, sorry, 1 bazaar. Okay, so we're now in a much worse position because we're going to lose our zombies. And our opponent will containment priest. So we wish we left our barbarian ring in now. And we have no particular good reason to dredge here, so we're just going to empty our hand. And do nothing. I guess we should probably attack. However, I don't think he's going to want to block. Yeah, so I guess he'll just crack engineered explosives in his next turn, leaving us down to 1 bloodghast. And just find a way to stop the bloodghast from there. And we'll be out of the game. Okay, so there's our EE gone. Oh, sorry, there's the EE gone, and our all our zombies dead. So I guess what our plan is here is to play a couple of Dakmore salvages and then draw a Golgari Thug and beat him with that. And so I guess that means that, okay, so we play a Dakmore salvage next turn. Okay, and we can play the Thug the turn after. I still don't think this game is going in our favour, but okay, and he's going to block. And we'll just stack our triggers here so we get our zombies. And it'll exile our bridges, and this is fine. We now have 6 power on board. So I think we die here to another EE, or yeah, okay, so we just die. We're now out. I don't think we have. Okay, so our out from here is to draw enough natural lands and then beat him with a Stinkweed Imp, but it seems like a hard sell. So I think scooping is as good as anything here. Alright, so he's taking care of a Bazaar. We don't really care about that. I guess we have to loot with this one just to try to find a coloured source. Ah, that was wrong. I'm pretty sure. Narcomoeba was a... actually, no, Narcomoeba's not an out. Okay, and he's going to cast Rest in Peace, and I think that's GG's there. I just don't think we can possibly come back from that. Okay, so we found a coloured source which we're going to hold on to, so now we just need, I guess, to draw back-to-back flyers. Flyer number 1 to take care of the Fairy Conclave, and then flyer number 2 to get in for lethal. So what have we got? We've got one Narcomoeba left in the deck, and 2 Stinkweed Imps. So I guess technically we can draw out of this. It's just not looking good. Or of course Serenity gets us there. So Serenity, okay, so Serenity doesn't guarantee us a win, but it eats up all his enchantments, including his moat, leaving us hopefully able to get him with the zombies, plus whatever else we draw over time. Unfortunately, yeah, that's our last live draw. Okay, we lose that one.